The whole time. It's nice. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes, and you could probably tell my voice. I'm not doing so hot either. But anyway, we're excited to have this webinar, and Abby, our director of marketing, is going to lead it for us. It's a kind of a great, I think, review of, I want everyone to reflect on what we did for marketing in 2023 and what we can do starting the new year, 2024. So we pulled together a lot of our best practices, things that really will help you be found. And Abby's going to go into depth about this, but it's all about things we can do ourselves to improve our lead generation, things like that, things that don't necessarily have to cost us thousands and thousands of dollars with marketing companies, but what we can do in-house to keep those phones ringing right through the months ahead and year to come. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off for Abby.
Thank you. All right, so today we will be discussing the fundamentals that will set the tone for a successful 2024. And by the end of this webinar, you'll have a better understanding of SEO, social media, blogging, pin drop, and Google Ads. And also, since this is our last webinar of 2023, we encourage you to choose one of these marketing strategies as your New Year's resolution and stick to it for at least 6 months this upcoming year. If any of these strategies really jump out at you, maybe think about choosing that as your goal for 2024.
Sounds good.
All right. So, where should your marketing efforts be focused in 2024? The two places on the internet where potential customers are going to find you are on search engines and on social media. On search engines, SEO, Google Ads, blogging, Google pin drop all play critical roles in helping you be found. Social media, on the other hand, acts as a sort of portfolio, and it's a representation of your brand. Social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram are key to establish trust with potential customers by building a professional presence online. And by professional presence, I just mean positioning your brand to appear as a reputable and reliable business. Okay, so let's talk about how to be found on search engines. The most well-known strategy is SEO, search engine optimization. And we've all heard the term, but many don't know what it actually is. At its core, SEO is just using specific strategies to make your website appear at the top of the search engine results pages, specifically in organic listings. It's just about being seen online. Let's go over some of the terminology having to do with SEO. Organic listings are unpaid listings. The Google search results page is formatted paid advertising listings at the very top of the page, and you can spot them very easily because they all say the word sponsored over them. And there's typically about 3 of those paid advertising listings, and then all of the listings below without the term sponsored are what's called organic listings. And the only way to move up on the page in the organic listings is by having good SEO on your website. Another type of listings is local listings. And these listings are becoming more and more important every single day as the searches are growing every minute. Local searches are any search that have a keyword plus a location indicator. So some examples of that include blinds near me, blinds near 208, blinds in my city. These searches will bring up a local listing section called the Google Map Pack. And the Google Map Pack is structured with 3 listings of the top local businesses that match the keyword in the search. It comes alongside a map of the area searched for. So if someone searched blinds near me, the Google Map Pack would appear on the Google results page with 3 of the top companies that sell blinds in that customer's area. The Google Map Pack and your rankings within it are absolutely vital for local businesses, because if a customer is searching for your industry in their area, they're more likely to click on the business at the top of local listings than they are in organic or paid listings. I mean, it makes sense. It's like if you are appearing at the top of the local listings, it's like their neighbors have vetted you almost. And okay, so how do we best enhance our website? Using relevant keywords on your pages and in your headings, having 900 plus words on each page of your website, and then incorporating internal and external links on each page. Internal links are when you hyperlink to another page on your own website, and external links are when you hyperlink to any other website on the internet. This can be your manufacturers, it can be community organizations that you sponsor, website other than your own. We're going to do a little brief detour into a beginner's guide for SEO. I want everybody to start their SEO journey with researching the primary keywords for your industry. The keywords are just the basic terms relevant to your industry that are highly searched. And you can probably come up with most of them by yourself if you just think of your services and your products. Blinds, shades, window treatments, they're all great examples. You can also find a research tool online, learn it, get comfortable with it, and then use it frequently to discover what words related to your industry are highly searched right now. Next, research long tail keywords. A keyword research tool will help you with discovering these. Long tail keywords are just the longer search terms that typically have a lower search volume but a higher level of intent. So whereas a window treatment is just a primary keyword, an example of long tail keywords would be window treatments for sliding glass doors. There's much less people searching for that, but the people who are searching for window treatments for sliding glass doors are actually looking for window treatments for sliding glass doors. They're more likely to want your business soon. So next, you're going to create content using a mix of these primary and long tail keywords. You're going to create relevant pages on your website, like product pages and blog posts. Using the sliding glass door example, write a blog post titled "The Best Window Treatments for Sliding Glass Doors." You are answering a commonly searched term, and you're creating content on your website. Best of both worlds.
Mhm.
Add photos to your content because people get bored just reading text. Also make lists, take advantage of bullet points. SEO is just as much about optimizing for your readers as it is about optimizing for an algorithm. You want potential to be interested in your content, read it all the way through, and then contact you. You're just not helping your business if you're writing 900 word pages with no pictures or lists, and then people are just clicking off. Attention spans are short. No one wants to read all that. So minimize the likelihood that people are going to click off. And then lastly, be mindful of important keyword locations. The most important places to put keywords are on page titles, in headings, and in meta descriptions. So search engines rank those keywords higher than they do in paragraphs. Here are some examples. So this is just an image taken directly from Google search results. This is the page title in purple. This is a description of that page called the meta description. This is actually the back end of our website. You can see this bolded, bigger text. That is a heading. You actually have to choose it as a heading. The text automatically will be a paragraph. So you have to go in up here in the settings where the bold and italics and links, all that kind of stuff is, and you have to change it to be a heading. But you want to focus all your keywords in here because search engines are gonna boost you better if you have keywords in these locations than if you do in paragraphs. All right, so moving on to blogging as a way to help you be found on search engines. Why is blogging important? It not only helps you with your SEO, it allows you to naturally incorporate those long tail keywords like we talked about. Blogging also continually increases traffic. So when you surpass 50 blog posts, your traffic increases by 53%. Once you surpass 100 posts, 300% jump. And then surpassing 200 posts makes your traffic increase by 450%. Absolutely worth blogging. What makes a successful blog post is using your keyword research to come up with relevant topics and blog prompts, writing at least 600 words. If you can do more than that, that's better. Include internal and external links. For internal links, I usually just link to other relevant pages on our website. So if the blog were about Roman shades, I'd just link to the Roman shades page on our website, along with another link for our contact page, for example. And then for external links, I often link to our manufacturers. I tend to take images from our manufacturers' websites because they have great high quality images. And so in the actual blog post, I'll just credit them for that image. I say image by Hunter Douglas, and then I'll link to their website to credit them. And that's a great, easy way to get those external links.
I just want to jump in for a quick second. For any of you who think that any of us are writing 600-word blog posts, we're not. I hate writing. I just want to jump in here and say that's what ChatGPT and Grok are for. So those of you who aren't using AI to write your blog posts, please do, because it'll take it from an hour and a half of torture to 15 minutes of just a little discomfort.
Thanks, Brian. Next, like I said, focus those keywords into your headings, not just in your paragraphs. You can make a heading say Roman. That can be your heading. That's just fine. Just make sure you're putting keywords in those headings. Next, include 4 photos, because again, we want it to be pleasant to look at. And then, how often should you be posting blogs? Aim for about 2 posts a week. If you can do more than that, then do it. Next up, we're talking about Google Ads. Are Google Ads actually important? If you are a new business really ranking in organic or local search results, then yes, Google Ads are definitely important to begin getting you some awareness. And Google Ads can also be very helpful for experienced businesses that are just not performing so well in some specific location. If you find that you're super low in the organic listings in a certain area, focus your advertising budget into that zip code until you start to rank better. I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but our pin drop heat maps are a great way to see how you're ranking. And so if you look on your heat map and see that you're not performing so well in one area, put your Google Ads budget into that area specifically. What makes a good Google ad? This information is taken directly from Google. So of this, write unique and informative text, catch people's attention, use as many assets as possible. Google Ads assets are things like images, logos, lead forms, even a way now to make advertising videos through Google for some of these ad types. Using as many of these assets as you can makes the ad more interesting for potential customers to look at, and Google will actually give you a little boost for it.
That's also important.
Utilize Google's smart features. Through Google Ads, you can choose to put some faith in Google and allow them to perform testing on which variations of your ads are performing the best. And then once they know, really push that variation of the ad out to potential customers. It takes some of the guesswork out of Google Ads, and I highly recommend that you take advantage of it. Next, Write as many descriptions and headlines as you are allowed. This is especially important if you are choosing to use the smart features, because the more variations of the ad Google has to test, the better for you. And how much should you be spending on Google Ads? Your marketing budget should be around 5 to 10% of your revenue. So there's no magic number on Google Ads. You just need to find a number that works for you within that 5 to 10%, and focus your Google Ads in those specific zip codes. Also, split your budget between print and digital ads, because old school ads still work. So find a number for Google Ads within the 5 to 10%, and also put some into print ads. All right, next up, Google reviews as a way to be found on search engines. So why is it important to get Google reviews? Google reviews are just one little part of Google's algorithm for ranking businesses in the local search. The more unique, positive reviews you have, the higher your ranking on local listings. Besides being great for SEO, they're also incredibly valuable for converting leads into customers, because 93% of customers will read reviews of local businesses to determine its quality, which means that nearly every single one of your customers read through your reviews before they reached out to you. Google reviews demonstrate your business's personality as well. So your responses that you cultivate great relationships with your customers, and also ask them to add some photos in their reviews. That also really helps. How do you get more Google reviews? Ask happy customers to write you one. You leave their home. Send Google review request reminders. If they didn't do it before you left the home, send them a reminder. And also respond to every single Google review and information request that comes through. Even if the review isn't,
But it's been out of stock for remote control. Why do they not ask us to say something?
Google will knock you down a few points for every single review and information request that you ignore. So make sure you're responding to every single. And plus, customers are just more likely to leave reviews for businesses that have a history of responding. Last on our ways to be found on search engines is pin drop. Pin drop is a service we offer that has some unbelievable effects on your local search rankings. And this is how it works. So in the My Blanco app, you'll take a photo of a completed job, and your tablet will capture the location that you are at and embed it in the photo. Then we upload that photo into your Google business profile, and the location embedded in that photo signals to Google that you do business in that zip code. I also forgot that pin drop is connected to the quote that you created. So it'll add keywords into the photo to be embedded, like Norman Woodlore shutters, all of that kind of stuff. And that will get uploaded with the photo to Google business profile. This is really, really, really important for window treatment businesses, because you're traveling and you're doing work in a wide radius of areas, but without these photo signals, Google just doesn't know that. Google typically operates as if you were like a clothing store. It takes the business address listed on your Google business profile, and it only really makes you appear in local searches at the business zip code. But with pin drop, you'll start to appear in the local search for every zip code that you do business in, instead of only at your zip code. So to reiterate, how does taking photos help on search engines? The location embedded in the photo signals to Google that you do business in another zip code outside of your business address. And why is it important to rank well in the Google Map Hack and Near Me searches? This is how customers searching for window treatment businesses in their area will find you. if you are not ranking in the top 3 of the map pack potential customers area, they just simply won't find you. Each month with PinDrop, we send out a heat map, which are these colorful square images with all these little dots. And these tell you what position you currently at on the Google Map Pack, which you can see right here. So it's hard to see, but this little pin right here is where Brian's window treatment business is. That's the physical location. And then all of these little dots are codes surrounding the store. So green means that you're ranking 1 through 3 on this Google Map Pack over here. Then yellow, orange, red. Yellow looks like it's around like to 8. Orange is about 10 through 15, and then red is 15 through 20. And it's literally your ranking in this list on the Google Map Pack. Whoops, sorry. So if you're green, you're 1 or 2 or 3 on this list. If you're yellow, you'd have to click more places and you'd be further down on that list. So Brian's company has a green dot on this zip code that's searched for right here, green dot up here, and it's first on the list. So this heat map actually helps you to see how your SEO is performing in all of these areas that you do business in. And then these 3 maps are from 2022 when we first started using PinDrop. I think this is around halfway through 2023. And that was June. This is now. So you can see that Brian's business has had some massive improvements in ranking number 1 in almost every zip code in his service area.
Yeah, we spent, and back to what Abby was saying about spending money. I'm doing this with my thing, and I'm not running the demo, but on the bottom right hand corner where I was off 14, 15, 17, 20 in the beginning of 2023 in that first map, we've spent our money on the bottom right hand side, and I'm gonna say without question all those 4s will be 3s by the end of the first quarter, and all those the last 2 red numbers will convert to probably 6s and 7s, but all that pulls everything else down. So, and being pulled down is a good thing. You want your numbers as low as possible. So I just wanted to show this. This is literally a progression of a year ago. And then I did have one that was before this that was worse. I wish I'd taken a picture of it, but I was too embarrassed by it. And then now this is a year, basically a year between these two. And then this is essentially 6 months later. So what we were talking about with this is you got to stick with it. All of these 1s, literally, I show up as a 1 in these zip codes and everything else, and a 2. And one of the things I wanted to tell you guys is if you use the tool, it's the first time I've been able to quantify and verify any sort of marketing thing that I've ever done, ever, hands down. I knew this was important the day I figured it out, because I can go out, watch the numbers change, and know that for what I'm spending, I can see literally all this stuff is derived from Google. We don't make these numbers, these maps. This is all Google's data. So we do what's called scraping it. We scrape it off of the Google websites to see where we're at. And excuse me, that progression that we had. And if you look at the real 2022 back in April, right after we were at the trade show last year, just before, I should say, March, the red on the 2022 map was all 4 sides. Then in the middle of 2023, it's maybe April, May, we were pretty much 1s and 2s all over the place. And now you see we're almost out of the red completely. And it's it's an 18-month progression. But if you could do something in 18 months that gets you leads every day, which this does, it's a long-term investment in your company, but it's one that you can actually quantify. Back to you, Abby.
Thank you. Okay, so last up in this webinar is social media. I just want to make sure that everyone knows exactly what to keep in mind to create a great social media presence for your business. So first, post constantly, about 3 to 4 times a week. More than that will annoy your followers, and less than that will make them forget about you. So 3 to 4 is the sweet spot. Use your social media as a way to educate your potential customers, the expert. So demonstrate your knowledge and your experience by educating potential customers on the ins and outs of window treatments. And use your social media as a sort of portfolio. It's a great way to show off completed projects. You can include tests from happy customers in your captions. Just make sure you're using your social media as a way to portray your business as active and reputable. Also, make sure that you are including vital business information like your contact information. That should be on your profile and in all of your posts. Ensure that people can tell what service you're providing just from a quick glance at your social media. And last, make your posts aesthetic and easy to digest. With social media, it is absolutely quality over quantity. Your posted images should be high resolution, well-lit images of projects, just taking images of window treatments. Just ensure that your captions are engaging, easy to comprehend, free of errors, and those photos are pretty to look at. All right, so I just wanted to open the floor and find out if this webinar has inspired any of you to choose one of these marketing strategies as your New Year's resolution for your business. Feel free to share which one you want to stick to next year and why.
And I'm going to jump in real quick before anyone else answers and say, even if you go out on a repair job where you did a beautiful shutter and the dog bites a louver, okay, and you go out to fix it, but you have a beautiful shutter job that's in a place that you don't usually go to, take a picture. Take a picture with your geolocation on, so you can have that picture if you're not using the service now. But take pictures of every job you do, so that if you decide to go ahead and do something like this, or you can even just upload them manually. It takes a lot more work, but you can do that. It makes a difference in your business. So take pictures, upload pictures of the work that you've done, and make sure your geolocation service is turned on. Okay.
Yeah, Brian, Rose had a question regarding that. She asked if pictures taken from a smartphone, which have geotag locations on, will that work? And obviously what Brian just said, yes, it will. It's
about 10% as effective as doing it with, if you don't go in and put a keyword string on it and strip out all the other stuff, you get about 10% of the value of what you do when you properly modify the image. So, but yeah, you can still get a benefit out of it, and it's better than nothing. So, do that at a minimum. Excuse me. But yeah, you can, what needs to happen truthfully is you got to go in, modify the image so that you're not putting people's personal data out there with the picture. And then that's a big deal. And then when you upload it to Google, you have to put keywords in it that are tied to the product that you're showing. And that's all doable. It takes about 30 minutes a picture. If I'm being honest, 20 minutes is about as fast as I got with it, but now it's completely automated. You click and go. So, but if you're not currently using PinDrop, take pictures anyways. Take pictures, upload them on social media, and take pictures of every job. And like I said, if you're on a pretty job that was a repair that you just did, I don't care if it's a vertical, take a picture of it. Build a library but make sure your geolocation is turned on. All right, Abby, back to you. So what are you going to choose for your New Year's resolution? That's a good question. Anybody? Who do we have left?
Logging.
Logging. That's
awesome.
That's the winningest thing that we've determined that you can do, and it's something that we're just do it. Use Chat GTP or some other thing to write your blog for you, and you really can dial it in and be done with one in 15 minutes. And it's one of those things where it's a discipline thing where you go in on Monday morning and it's like you have your meeting with your team, and then you write a blog and you get it posted, and then I've sat down with people and showed them how to get the optimization, which is pretty much in any of these what's it called, Abby, WordPress sites. They have an optimization that comes free, where it tells you how to do a couple of things that you need to do. And we've demonstrated that on the other one where we said how to blog. But just do that. Make that your New Year's resolution. Do one a week, get good at it, then do 2 a week after your first 3 or 4 weeks doing it, and that will make a huge difference in your website's ranking. Huge. I mean, 400% increase over if you get up to that 200 blogs, which is really, excuse me. You would be at 4 a week for a year to get there, but reward, that's free advertising. And in that, integrate your pictures, use your own pictures, and say things like, this is a job we did at this neighborhood, and then use that as a prompt, excuse me, for the ask the chat GTP to write a blog about something, and then go back in and just change it in a few spots where you say, this is an example of a job we did in, I don't know, I'm gonna use my local. There's Lansdowne, there's DC. This is a job we did in Northwest DC, and bop. And you can write that right over or mix it in with the blog, so that you get the benefit of having 2 or 3 locations in a blog. And then with properly notated an address, and it doesn't have to have a physical address, of course, but you'd say Northwest DC, or west side of Chicago, or whatever, in any place where you guys are working, and it adds another layer to what you're doing. So using your own pictures in your blogs, good call. Using professional pictures in your blogs, as Abby does, good call, because if you're using the manufacturer's blog, the manufacturer's photograph, and then you're creating a link from you to them and attributing the photograph to them, that really does get you a link, and it will oftentimes get you a backlink for a few months from the manufacturer's website that just reaches back. It just depends on how free you link to their site. And that's all done algorithmically. So you can ask for it, but typically if you link to Norman, or you link to, I don't know if it's not so much, but if you link to Alta, you can get just an organic backlink. So keep reaching out to your manufacturers and saying nice things about them in your blog space. Beautiful Hunter Douglas X, beautiful Norman Y, beautiful Alta, Z, Graber's beautiful woven, shade. And you underneath the photograph, put a link in. And there we detailed that in the blog thing, which is we can put that in the release on the email with this one too.
Rose had a question, Brian. Can 2 different companies have the same blog post? Will Google recognize that it was generated through chat GPT or something like that?
Yes, you can do it. Will it hurt you? Yes, it will not help you. So I don't know in what instance you would want to do that. When you can literally take the same prompt and put a different company name in, it will create you a completely different blog post. If you're just this is an intellectual shortcut that doesn't help you at all. And I've had some customers in the past that I've told these things, in particular now with the artificial intelligence that's come out from Google. They're scanning through these things, and they know they're artificial blog posts, but if you're duplicating, they really penalize you, especially if you try to have duplicate locations where there's only one business and you put multiple locations out. Don't ever do that. And then when it really would only take you, if you're saying you've got Rose's blinds and you got Al's blinds and they're 2 different places, just put the same blog prompt into the chat GTP or AI of your choice, and it will write you a different one, and just put the a different address in. Don't reuse it, because reusing it's a kiss of death. It'll actually affect you negatively. And the negative stuff, it's you can do a great job on a blog post, and you'll get about 6 to 9 months of good performance and run out of that. And what I mean is you'll get crawled by the algorithms for 6 to 9 months, where you get a positive effect and nothing negative comes out of it. Whereas if you do something that gets dinged for being negative because of breaking the rules of Google, it will linger for years. It will literally linger for years. So just play the straight and narrow. You reuse the blog prompt, certainly, maybe change a couple words in it, and then it'll come up with a whole different blog post, and you'll be good to go. And you're literally taking 4 to 5 seconds more, because to get a blog post done from chat takes, Abby, how long is it once you put the blog prompt in? How long does it take you to get that post?
I mean, it only takes seconds to get it from ChatGPT. A little bit longer to optimize. I'd say probably 10 to 15 minutes once you're adding photos, adding backlinks, all those kind of things.
Yeah, I'm just talking about a different blog post. So the real time is 4 to 5 seconds more to get a second blog post out of an AI, and then you're doing it for two
Right.
different companies anyway. So you would still have to do all the background work yourself, which is 15 minutes is pretty optimized. That's probably, it's like anytime you sell a new product, you guys, for those of you that are installers like myself, anytime you hang a new motorized shade that you've never hung before, and you got to figure it out. The first one's 30 minutes, the first one's 30-40 minutes, and then you get it figured out, and the second one's 10 minutes, and the third one's 8 minutes, and you rock and roll after that. It's just the way it is. The first one's always the worst one. So
Rose, did you have a question?
Yeah, I thank you for that, Brian. I really appreciate it. And basically what we were meaning is, if we have a company doing our blogs for us, and you're doing like a blog for 10 or 20 different companies, and it's the same content that goes out to 10 different websites, that's what the question really was. Not, I'm sorry, I didn't ask it more clearly. So that's kind of like if we hired you guys to do blogging for us, or another company, and they were using the same content across the board this week for many different websites. Would
we would
that
never do that. I will tell you that hands down. That's one of those. This is the thing that people are reticent to discuss. But Google's very, I'm just going to say, unkind. I don't want to have them find me saying something mean, but they're unkind to people who don't follow their rules. And reusing a blog post is not a kiss of death, but it certainly is considered to be a negative.
So you guys, if we were to hire you for that service, let's just say, you would customize each blog for each company. You wouldn't just copy and paste.
We would do exactly what I said we did, which is we would take the prompt, and then we would put your company name in there, and we would put your address in there, and it would create something completely differently than the exact same prompt would create for mine, because it's just, we're different places. So using the AI, the chat GTPs of the world, we would never take the same cookie cutter post and put it here and here and here, because that's going to harm. Oh my God, literally, it's going to hurt everybody involved over time. And it might only drag your SEO down by a quarter point, but you do that 3 or 4 times, there's a point. And then you go and and it sticks around for 2 years, and it's hard to fight these battles to get back lost ground. When you lose ground with Google, it is the worst to try and gain it back. And I'm speaking from experience.
Brian?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Al Mendoza. I don't know if this is the appropriate place to ask this question, but when you're having the previous webinars on the blogging and the different blogging services that you offer, like you would say, like a title like energy efficient window coverings, right?
Yes.
So let's say you're having 10 people, 10 different customers right under that subject. They would do their use Chat GPT and use their pictures, and even though they had the same title, they would be considered different blog posts, right? That's what my
okay. A prompt is what you put in a chat. Okay, Al.
Okay.
So it's what goes into the grist mill before you get the result. If you're using the result for the result of one entry into Chat GTP, you're using the same text, and if you're changing the pictures and you're changing an address, that is reusing the same blog. If you put the same prompt, which is energy efficient honeycomb shades, Al's windows, Poughkeepsie. I don't know where you're at, Al. I'm sorry. But it's going to write something that is geographically more specific. It will actually take information. If you're in a cold climate, it will tell you. It'll actually use the artificial intelligence to say in colder climates like X. Whereas if you do it in Florida, it's like, well, to keep the air conditioning cost down, this product, blah blah blah. So it will actually tailor it to you. If you put the exact same prompt in for two different people, the AI will give you two completely different things, as long as you put a different company name in and a different location. It will it does all the rest. It does all the rest of it for you. Whereas if you get the output of a prompt that is more generic, and then you use it for 10 different companies, that's going to get crawled, and it's going to come back as it's almost treated like a bot was creating it, and it wasn't. It's not a real business because it's not unique enough.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Also, Al, when you're doing those posts using the prompts, you can always ask ChatGPT to write something a little bit more specific. If you want to really make sure that yours is completely different from everything else, you can say, write a prompt for my business name and my business about energy efficient shades, and make sure that you include a paragraph about why energy efficient shades are really important in the winter. You can always make it extra specific for you to guarantee no one else has it, but ChatGPT is customizing it for everybody.
Yeah, that little extra bit of drilling down is going to make it completely unique for you. And that costs you nothing, literally takes you less time than this conversation. I mean, the ChatGPT will put out, 600 words in 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and then you spend another 15 or 20 minutes putting on the frilly stuff and aligning the headers and stuff. And then it works well for you. Whereas other folks, pardon me, other folks who are in the marketing side of things, who aren't, I'm dedicated, and if you guys can't tell us, Abby's dedicated to making your businesses successful. Abby wants success for you guys because we know it builds our business. But I'm bent on getting you guys to perform well. And I'm finding it more and more with the Blind Chain Shutter Company, my retail store. It's the little tiny things like this that we're discussing right now, where I used to just be, I had a company 2 years ago. Remember, this is a new venture for me. 2 years ago, I was paying somebody, and they were putting up a duplicate blog, Facebook, social media post that was just a straight up copy. And I started reading up on what that does. That's not as negative so much as it is. That's not as anywhere near as negative as it is to do a blog post that's supposed to be part of your business. There's kind of a thing where you get a Hunter Douglas blog post or a social media post. It's completely fine. It's a manufacturer thing. It doesn't affect you negatively. But when you do something that's part of your website that's supposed to be authored by you, or authored by you using a tool, that's completely the same as it is for Bill's Blinds in Memphis, and it's Keith's Blinds in California, and it's the same text. All these things, all these search engines, all the algorithms do is they go in. They're called crawlers. The web crawlers is what they're called. They go in and they read it, and if it rings the same all over the place, it gives you a quarter point deduction is about what I think it is, and I could be wrong about that. It could be more. But that quarter point deduction will ride with you for the next 3 years. Whereas anything positive you do, they give you about 6 to 9 months of run. So just remember that. I know I got soapboxy on you. Sorry, guys. All right, Abby. Pull questions and answers. Anything else we got?
Guess not too many people bold enough to
Throw down.
Here's resolution.
All right. Well, I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas, a wonderful Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays to all of you, safe holidays, and then let's really pick something, and it's not got nothing to do with us. Pick something and stick to it pick the blogs. I mean, that's where it's at. And work towards getting one of those done a week for the first quarter, then move it up to 2 for the second quarter, and make that your New Year's resolution for your business by the end of the year. By the end of the year, and I know I'm talking that nonsense talk of terms of time, but literally it takes time with this stuff. But this is all stuff that you can do on your own, or you can hybrid it with some person or people in your office or peer group, or contract it out. But if you contract it out, you make sure they're doing something unique for you, and even if you have to develop the prompts and say, no, I want you to use ChatGPT to give me a prompt off of this, and say, Al's window coverings and your address and like just like Abby said. And Abby, if you backfill that again, what were some of the other things you said about asking chat to drill down?
If you can think of any subsections within a topic, you can ask ChatGPT to write it for you. But whenever you're asking ChatGPT to write you a blog post, you want to include the word count that you want, your business name, your business location, the prompt, and if you want to get it hyper specific, you can tell it specific topics within your prompt to write about. So the example I used earlier was the energy efficient shades. Tell it to write a paragraph specifically on why energy efficient shades are in the wintertime.
Thank you. All right, guys. Like I said, have happy holidays, happy New Year. Best of 2024 to you. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I made Abby put little champagne glasses in the thing. So good luck next year. Let's hope for we've had a pretty flat year. Let's hope for a better year next year, you guys. Blind Chain Shutter, that is. Anybody else have any questions before we shut it down? All righty. Audra, it's up to you.
Just to remind everybody, we do offer help on all these things that Abby talked about. We could do social media posts, SEO, manage your website, do the blogging and things like that. So if you do, I'm sure there's people there listening who know they're just not going to get around to doing some of this stuff, but we are here to help too. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out. And with that, I will say happy holidays, everyone. And thanks for joining.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.